All right, welcome, guys. This is Breakfast with the Brand, the number one podcast in the world for entrepreneurs and leaders who want to go from bland to industry leading brand. If you're tuned in live, go ahead, put your flames in the chat and let us know where you're listening in from. I want to send a quick shout out. I see we have Travis, the critic. Phenomenal morning to you. We have just a little bit of shade tuning in. All right, guys. So go ahead, put those flames in the chat. Today we're going to be talking about coaching, and I'm joined with me, as usual, the king of branding himself, Mr. Shaan Rais. What's up, Shaan?
I can't complain. I do have a little bit of a connection difference because I'm traveling right now. Speaking events, this is the season, right? This is the season. So speaking is upon us. However, I'm present. This is part of it, right? This is part of it. When it comes to coaching, leadership, the brand, showing up, how we show up, this is what it looks like sometimes, guys, as we're in travel, en route to different destinations. So put it in the chat, kind of, guys. If you're watching this in the Facebook group, if you're watching this on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, put in the comments what your goals are. Like, what is your expectation as a coach? What are the outcomes? Do you know what comes with it? So I promise you, Junior, when I first began to look at coaching as a serious discipline, I had no clue everything that it would entail. The traveling, the speaking, that was not one of the factors for me. So I'm interested in people's understanding of coaching and what that looks like. And just to give you context, right? Just to give you a little bit of context, I got up this morning before 3 o'clock and began work on a paper for college on executive coaching and leadership development, personal brand, and the impact on marginalized populations. Right. So, and that's straight coaching, dissertation piece. I just want to kind of share that because everything that we've done from the very beginning of this brand has been coaching with strong, strong purpose, more than most people would realize.
100%. So, Shaan, is that for your third master's or is that for the second one? That paper.
That's so I love it. I love it. That's inside of the first dissertation. So the third master's degree is already conferred. That's no problem at all. That's coming at the end of this term. But I'm doing work right now on the dissertation. So it's interesting the way that my college works. The coursework, to make it pertinent and make it relevant, the coursework actually encompasses the dissertation process.
That's
Yeah,
super interesting.
yeah, it is because dissertations usually take place after all of the coursework, but the coursework here ensures that the dissertation gets done. So it's just a phenomenal, phenomenal experience.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, Shaan, today the topic is coaching. I'm curious to know how many coaches do we have viewing this right now? If you are a coach or an aspiring coach, go ahead, put a number one somewhere in the comments. Also, Shaan, are we live on Instagram as well?
We are not. We are not live on Instagram. A lot of travel taking place. We are not able to go live on Instagram. We are on LinkedIn Voice, though. We are on LinkedIn Voice, and Tuesday is an interesting day, right? Tuesday is the day before what they call hump day. So I want you to think about whether you're showing up late, hearing this later than the actual recording. What happened? What happened to you? Sometimes, right, we have to coach ourselves. Sometimes we have to be our own best high performance coach and ensure that we actually really, really do the things that we say we want to do and, engage in that which will promote excellence and promote expediency and execution. Expediency being speed.
That's right. So I see a couple number one. So Shade says number one. So Shade is an aspiring coach. Of course, we have Travis in the comments. Guys, if you have any questions about coaching, go ahead and definitely drop them in. So Shaan, let's talk about the journey of a coach.
The journey of a coach is one of
Journey of a coach.
self-discovery. You know, the journey of a coach is one of self-discovery. I was actually saying that within my paper, that helping someone else to discover themselves is a self-discovery process in itself. I'll say that one more time for clarification. Helping someone else to discover themselves is a self-discovery process in and of itself. I won't say it backwards and I won't try to speed it up, but I want you to understand it. In order to help to facilitate someone else's self-awareness, you have to be self-aware. In order to develop or help someone else develop their self-regulation, you have to regulate yourself. In order to enhance someone else's understanding, sense of, or appropriation to emotional intelligence, you have to be emotionally intelligent yourself. In order to help someone else build out their personal brand and or their business acumen, you have to have a personal brand. You have to be constantly developing it, constantly honing it, and constantly working on someone else's. You have to be a leader in order to develop leaders. So there's no way in the world that you can help other people in the context of a coach without first helping yourself. It's almost like the oxygen mask piece. If you're helping others to achieve their goals, you have to be consistently engaged in goal ascertainment. That's the authenticity part. You can't be inauthentic and help other people to become authentic.
That's right. When I look at coaching, and there's something called a hero's journey, right?
That's right.
It's something very similar to you sort of embarking on this journey to self-discovery, right?
Definitely.
Eventually, you discovering who you are and returning as that mentor, right? So on the hero's journey, guys, after you leave what's called the ordinary world, you encounter somebody who's a mentor. That mentor helps you to get through trials, tribulations, and then you eventually come across something called, I think they call it the last ordeal, right, Sean? If I'm correct, the final ordeal, which is
Yes.
basically in the movies is this is where like you have the final battle and the last and you're facing the last boss and you're getting over the last hump. And after you get over that hump, right?
You said the last boss. It
Last boss,
reminds me of Mario Brothers, Super
yeah,
Mario.
yeah. It's same things. The video game, same concept, right? You overcome a series of challenges. Then you get to that last sort of battle, that last critical battle. In the movie, in the Avengers movie, I could remember when they fought Thanos, right? Remember when
Yeah.
they fought Thanos? So that would be sort of the equivalent, right? So you're fighting this last ordeal, and after you make it past there, it's said that you gain new powers. So you gain new powers, new abilities, new skills, and then you yourself return to the ordinary world to share your gifts with your people. And then you eventually take that seat as the mentor in somebody else's journey.
Oof.
So
Let's go.
let's talk about your experience. So has your experience in the coaching space, has it mimicked the hero's journey in any way, shape, or form? Have you experienced that transition?
I definitely have, and it's funny because I put up a post today in Facebook. I put up a post today in Facebook asking people to just take action, right? To just take action. And this is what I teach too as I coach my clients through their process. I always say that a number two can teach a number one, a number four can coach a number three, a number five can coach a number four. The problem is people think they're not a 10 yet, and they stop themselves from launching. But like I just said, if you don't start, you'll never arrive. If you don't start, you'll never arrive. So, and my background in clinical speaks to this. I mean, I was an intern before I got paid for anything. I was an intern and I followed people who showed me what to do in the space of human behavior, personal development, and even professional development. as a counselor, I was educated as an intern and followed behind people. So I was a student. You know, what I went through in growing up was like the villain: structural inequality, lack of phenomenal educational situations where I grew up, lack of mentorship growing up, you know, at sometimes lack of a parental figure in my life. Those were the villains. Those were the villains in my life, if you will. And then overcoming them. I mean, for real, I say it all the time. Like, my first mentor, my first coach was my wife. You know, my first coach was my wife because she was the first one that made me look inside of myself. Your coach is supposed to help you to look inside of yourself. It's a self-discovery process. So in wanting more for her and in wanting to do for her, it made me look inside of myself and choose to develop myself and become better. Now, when I chose to develop myself, it reminds me of the Lord of the Rings, now that you mention it and you give the analogy of movies to it. It kind of reminds me of the dragon in the Lord of the Rings, because once I made the decision, that wasn't all that was required, guys. What all is required is not the decision to transform. When you make the decision to transform, then you have to have the discipline to move forward, right? The discipline to move forward. So I moved forward into the world. And Shay Smog, the dragon Smog, right? So I entered the cave to combat the dragon. Now, when I say I entered the cave to combat the dragon, I entered society and maybe even the educational realm specifically to do battle with something that I had put down, ran away from, dropped out of before, being education, right? And now, like, as soon as I graduated or found the ring, I continued to teach others. So to help others to go combat their dragon. That's what I do.
That's what's up. Shaan, we're actually due for a break right now. So let's take a quick break, guys. When we come back, more on coaching. Stay tuned.
Let's grow. It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are, so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. I said Shaan Rais. I'm proud. I said Shaan Rais. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Shaan, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and you know, game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes.
Right, guys, we are back. Welcome to Breakfast with the Brand. If you tuned in now, if you're just coming in, go ahead, put your flames in the chat. Let us know where you're listening in from. We're talking about the art and the science of coaching. So, Shaan, before we went to the break, you gave us a little background, right?
Yes.
Your journey, and it being in some ways very similar to, I think you use Lord of the Rings, right?
That's right.
So you use Lord of the Rings. I'm curious to know how many of you listening right now feel like you're in your journey, or in fact, what part of your journey are you in? Put it in the chat. And while we wait for that to come in, Travis has a question. So Travis says, could you please expand on the differences between teaching, coaching, and consulting? And it's a two-part question. And he says, and share the golden thread connecting the three.
Oof, I love it. I love it. So what I'm going to say first is share this out, guys. Share this conversation out. Share this conversation out. When you share, it shows that you care, right? In the simplest form. But also when you share this out, you become a leader and you become a coach. Because there are people that are connected to your page. There are people that are following you that are not following Shaan Rais. Right. So if they follow you and they're connected to you on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or Twitter, then you become their flag or their North Star. And when you share information, you become the coach. A lot of people don't understand that, Junior. They don't understand it. They're like, well, you know, why should I share someone else's stuff? But when you live in the land of lack, you'll never align with abundant. But when you share and when you become the coach for someone else, you immediately elevate your stature and position. Not only in the eyes of the person looking at you, but in the eyes of the world, the universe, or karma, whatever you believe in, like it will come back to you. It will come back to you. So be the change that you want to see by helping someone else learn through their affiliation with you. Okay. So the differences between teaching, coaching, and consulting. Coaching is a future-focused, goal and action-oriented process. Coaching is a future-focused, goal and action-oriented process. Future-focused, goal and action. Emphasis on process. Consulting is expertise provided upon, I would say, acquisition of services. So upon acquisition of services, you bring in a consultant and the consultant almost does it for you. They are the expert. They have all of the answers. That's what a consultant does. They consult. They give you the answers that you require. Coaches help you discover the answer within yourself and help you develop the skill. Help you develop and find the answers within yourself. Teaching is instructing. So teaching is transferring your knowledge to someone else. That's what teaching is. Teaching is transferring your knowledge to someone else in an instructional capacity. I love Andrew Goji. I'm getting an Ed.D. right now, right? In leadership for change. So when a person asks me or comes to me and says, Shaan, can you teach me something? I say, depending on what's required to teach, yes. And that's because it's very important distinction here. Many people want to learn something, but the question has to be asked, what do they want to learn it for? And what will be the mode of transference? So we have online learning. Online learning is the transference of information. We are teaching. In that capacity, it's instructional as opposed to internal. Coaching is more internal based, and it bears inquisition, like appreciative inquiry, which through a structured series of questions elicits from the coachee their own answers and understanding. Consulting fixes the problem for you. So that's the difference between teaching, coaching, and consulting. And the golden thread connecting the three. The golden thread connecting three would be all ships raised. All ships raised. When you teach someone, you empower them. When you coach someone, you empower them. When you consult someone, you empower them. So empowerment and elevation would be the golden thread connecting the three.
That's very interesting. So you said that teaching is more instructional.
Correct.
So if I'm telling somebody what to do, that's teaching.
Correct.
If I'm doing it for them, so as a consultant, you do the work for them. Let me just get it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. That's very interesting. A lot of people feel like consulting is maybe just telling them what to do, right? So as a consultant, you don't transfer that knowledge, do you?
No, as a consultant, you do. It depends. So it depends on the acquisition, the contractual acquisition of the consultant. It depends. Sometimes the consultant will be a DFY. Other times the consultant will do a DWY, and sometimes the consultant will do a DIY. It's usually dependent upon the level of investment that is made. However, in either setting, I want you to understand this. In either setting, the consultant provides the client with the answer as an expert. That's the difference, the expertise, the capacity of expert knowledge. So watch this. A consultant has evidence-based expertise. Evidence-based expertise. The teacher doesn't need to have evidence-based expertise. The teacher needs to have the education. So you go to business school, watch this. You go to business school, you go to Harvard, you go to Stanford, you go to Columbia. A lot of those instructors are there to instruct. They have the education. They do not need to have the experience. They do not have to have built a business. They do not have to have gone through 20 years of startups. Nor do they have to have the expertise. They don't have to physically have experienced building a business and giving you information based on experience. So it doesn't have to be evidence-based. It can be education-based. Now, a consultant, when you hire a consultant, you want someone who knows exactly what they're doing based on years and years of experience and expertise. You don't want guesswork. You don't want someone who read case studies. You want someone who has the experience and they can guarantee the results. That's what you pay a consultant for. You pay a consultant for results. You pay a teacher more for research.
So Shaan, say that one more time. You pay a teacher for research.
You pay a teacher for research. Most teachers have gone through at least a master's degree, which means they have the research. Now, there can be a consultant. You can consult with someone who does. A consultant can be anyone who has results in the field of inquiry. In the field of inquiry. So watch this. You might say, I want someone to come in on marketing and teach. No, not teach, but actually do the marketing for me. Who do you hire? Do you hire Jay Abraham? Or do you hire someone who teaches marketing? A professor who teaches marketing. Now, Jay Abraham has years and years of billion-dollar results in marketing. He's qualified to consult. The teacher may have 8 years of education and research. However, his research has not been applied by him. he generally quotes case studies and may actually include Jay Abraham as one of those case studies. That's the difference.
So in both cases, with the consultant and the teacher, I think it's safe to say that they are both evidence-based, right? Because the teacher is quoting something. I'm assuming that they're quoting something from some kind of peer-reviewed study or something like that, right? But the
Yes,
difference is that the consultant has actually done it before. So
exactly.
they have
They
that,
have the
yeah,
experience.
there's a difference between and you could always tell somebody who has actually done something, somebody who's been in the trenches, and then somebody who has read something from a book. Because and I'll give you an example. When it comes to things like, let's say, phone sales, a lot of people could just give you a script. Okay, Sean, you should say this, say that, say that. But what about things like the tonality? Like what tonality do you use when you just get on the phone? What is the first question you should ask? How should you ask the question? When you should ask the question?
This, you
What
know,
question you ask, right?
Junior, you're so correct. And this is where my tolerance sometimes escapes and my patience is tested with common sense. Because this is also just to give you some clarity and some foundational experiential knowledge of my process. This is why I did not just go to college or just do personal and professional development. I married the two. The reason why I married the two is because you can't teach results from a book. You cannot teach results from a book. I found it very hard to learn business from people who never ran one. To me, it was all theoretical. It was all theoretical and opinion-based. And the reason why is because things that are evidence-based today may not be evidence-based tomorrow. So let me give you an example. The things that we learned in the agricultural era are history. They're not pertinent right now. Even the things in the industrial era are not pertinent right now. We live in a technology and knowledge era. So the old rules have changed. So teachers teaching out of textbooks more than 20 years old are going to have a very hard time teaching me.
That's right.
You want someone who has done the work. So a lot of times I'll get it, I'll be speaking with somebody, and this was in my formative years. A person would say, well, I can learn all of that stuff from YouTube. I say, great, go ahead. Please have at it. How does it work for you? Call me back in 10 years when you get no results. Have fun. Have fun. Like, how has it been working for you so far? And they say, well, I don't have any results. And I say, okay, yeah. That's what it looks like. Because you're learning from talking heads who haven't actually done the work. Everybody, everybody is somebody online. But what about offline? What does the P&L sheet look like? What do the numbers really look like? Where is the activity? Show me the activity. And there's another thing, I don't want to bash, because I'm not bashing at all. I love scholarly, but I love practical, and I love application even more. And that's why I did both, because when you can marry the scholarly with the theoretical with the evidence-based and the application piece, then you have a true, well-rounded master. It's mastery. Mastery can't happen without doing, though. And that's the most important. People say, I got a master's degree, but when you get a master's degree and you enter the job market, they say, don't touch anything. Watch what we do before you do anything. So you can have a master's degree and still have to do an internship. You can get a doctorate and still enter the workforce and have to do an internship, and they'll tell you what you learned in school just got you ready to walk in the door. But now that you're in the door, put your hands in your pockets and don't touch anything and pay very close attention.
Wow. Guys, when we come back, we're going to go to a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to go a little bit deeper into that, Shaan. I'll just give you like a preview, right? So my thought process is like, you know, if you could have a master's degree and still have to go for an internship, I know a lot of people may be thinking, well, is the master's worth it? Is the degree worth it if you still have to go through that same process, right? But let's talk about that when we come from the break, guys. Stay tuned. Let's go.
The reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaway just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
You know, there's nothing that you cannot overcome in this world except that which you refuse to fight. When I say brand, when I say brand and authenticity and being the brand, you gotta know your story. You gotta know your story, you gotta own your story, and you gotta be the champion of your story. It's very important that we control our narrative. It's very important that we don't allow anyone else to control our narrative, because when they control our narrative, they control our freedom. They control our freedom and our future. I don't just want it for me, I want it for everybody. It can happen, and it can happen for you, especially when you get branded like a leader.
All right, guys, so we're back. Shaan, before we went to the break, you spoke a little bit about the education. Now, obviously, you're somebody that's very, very educated. So, can you speak a little to the marrying of the two, right? So, how the two complement one another? Because I know a lot of people may be thinking, well, I still have to go through that long process, right? Just like you said, even if I have the degree. So, can you speak a little bit to that?
Am I speaking to the validation, to the history, or to the marriage? What are you asking me specifically?
All right, so let's speak to the validation of the degree first.
Okay, great. So the validation of the degree is, like we spoke before, evidence-based. And it's based on the foundational principles that existed long before we did. Right. So in my studies of peer-reviewed articles, and let's take leadership and organizational development, executive coaching, personal branding, even, it goes way back. It didn't start yesterday. You're just hearing about it now. But the foundations, that's why okay. So for instance, that's why I know that the foundations of leadership development and personal branding are the same four things: self-awareness, self-regulation, emotional intelligence, and authenticity. That comes from deep peer-reviewed article research. That comes from reading. That comes from years and years of study. So there's a lot of, let me say it this way. There's a lot of people who, when COVID happened, just said, I'm going to become a coach. And what they're doing is giving advice or just having conversations with people. They're just having conversations. They're just talking. Coaching is a future focus. There's no future focus. How are you doing today? What's going on? What did you do yesterday? That's not a future focus, right? So coaching is a future focus and there's no goal. Okay, you feel great. All right, yeah, we're going to talk again, right? There's no goal orientation to the coaching transformation. Coaching is supposed to incur transformation. You're not supposed to be the same leaving a coaching session as you were when you entered. You're supposed to feel something different, and the feeling is qualitative. It's not just monetary. People think that we just teach people how to make money. No, we teach people character development, leadership development, thereby helping them to build a personal brand and thereby helping them to develop business sense, business acumen, confidence, and the core competencies that are pertinent to having a successful and scalable business. That's lost on people. But the fact that I've studied for more than 10 years, leadership development, character development, team building, systems, entrepreneurship, those foundations are the foundations that make everything that we say practical and evidence-based. Now, the difference, the marriage into the practical realm is the experience-based, because they're two different things. There's some things that you cannot learn in a book. You can read it and it's theoretical, but when you actually experience it, you'll realize like, wow, my education has some gaps that have to be closed with real world practical application. It's like boxing, man. You can't learn boxing from a book. Trust me.
That's right. And you can't learn boxing just shadow boxing, right?
No, sir. You got to get hit.
Ring. Yeah.
You got to get hit. You got to get in the ring.
Yeah, I love what Travis just said. So Travis said, wow, there are many teachers out here masquerading as coaches. Huge distinction.
I would agree.
What are your thoughts on that, Shaan? I mean, we saw the rise of coaches after 2020, right?
Yes.
We saw the rise of coaches. So what do you think about Travis's statement? Do you think that sort of coincides with what we saw happening during that time?
Definitely, I do. I think very many people, okay, so let me say it this way. Teaching is easier than coaching. Teaching is easier than coaching because all you have to do is deliver curriculum. This is why I do Q&A after every call. I might provide some instructional value, but then I do a Q&A, which takes a qualitative assessment and an evaluation of retention and understanding. And then when we talk about the prognosis and the question, how are you going to apply what you just learned? That creates an evidence base for the retention, but not only the retention, but the comprehension. The comprehension. And the reason why I don't teach branding, but teach personal branding is because personal branding requires you to bring your true, authentic, genuine self to the conversation. If we're just talking about branding, then I can give you principle based. But when I give you personal branding, now it's personal based. So you have to figure out what you went through in the human evolution from 0 to 7, 7 to 14, 14 to 21. You got to go dig up in that. You got to dig that out and find out what you tried to hide and what you tried to, cover up, because coaching is truly a process of uncovering and self-discovery.
That's really powerful. Shaan, what is the link between coaching and education? And let me preface this question, right?
Please.
It's been said that the root of education is something called, and I think it's a Latin term, right? It's something called educare, right?
Correct.
So, and that means self-education, basically means self-discovery, you discovering the facts inside yourself. So education is actually supposed to help you to discover, more about yourself, discover the facts on your own.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Yes. Come on.
Education is supposed to, right? Based on the absolute definition, it is supposed to help you find out those facts for yourself. But we see education being more, like you say, instructional, like just do this, do that. And I could relate, like me, because before I started doing what I'm doing right now, I worked in a very technical field, right? Where I worked outdoors. I worked with my hands, right? Very, very technical stuff. And I acquired education, right? I went to school to learn the trade, to do what I was doing. But when I got on the field, it was a completely different game. Just like you're saying. So my question is, number one, what is the link between coaching and education, or has the link rather been broken? Because we just established what the link is. Education is supposed to be a process. It sounds like it's supposed to be coaching, to be honest. It sounds like education is actually supposed to be coaching.
I love that.
What are your thoughts on that?
I love where you're going, man. I really do, bro. I really do. And this might sting a little bit, guys, but the formal educational system is broken. I can't pull punches. The formal educational system it's in disrepair. Education is supposed to educe, to elicit from outside of the person cognitive, behavior, and character change. It doesn't do that. It has been reduced. It has been minimalized and marginalized to a process of memory, memorization, and repeating. So now what you do when you go to formal school, formal education, without higher level education, I'm not talking about higher education, and specifically free or public education, especially in specific communities, is reduced to a simple process of teachers regurgitating information, children memorizing whatever they can, and repeating or regurgitating the answers for a test. And then they get a passing grade. Have they grown? No. Have they matured? No. Have they developed? No. Are they any more ready for the world at 13 or 18 than they were at 3 and 4? In many cases, no.
Guys, I think we're going to go to a short break on that. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just a very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are, so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. I don't talk theory, I don't talk hyperbole, I don't talk opinion. Nothing I talk is anything but evidence-based.
During the G-Circle retreat in Atlanta, I had the pleasure and the honor of listening to Mr. Shaan Rais. He will not only impact your organization, but he will elevate your team to another level.
When you change you, when you put you into the equation, the whole system is different. I guarantee you, you got the right thing. You are the right person. If you can present yourself in the best way possible, there's no negotiation.
His energy is infectious, and I have so many takeaways from the presentation that I can't wait to get started and implement them today to see the result.
I'm kind of glad that I'm mobile right now and not on camera, bro, because I promise you that last statement was painful, bro. That last statement was painful. I want everybody to understand something, right? And I want you to understand it very, very, very deeply. The more money you invest in your education, the more results that you get. The more money that you invest in your coaching, the higher quality the results that you get, and the higher quality coach that you're able to retain or hire. And the more money that you put into consulting, the higher level of a consultant that you're able to retain or put on a retainer, which is gonna translate into the higher level of results that you get or your children get in school, or you get in college, in coaching, or in business. Remember, it's business. The educational system is a system denoting moving parts and people interacting for a desired outcome. That is the definition of business. It's a business. So if you try to, there's some educational systems where we ask the educational system to feed our children. We're not investing any money at all. As a matter of fact, we're asking them or the government or the state to invest in our children that we produced. In that case, it's almost like asking for free services. Everybody's not going to do what we do. Everybody can't do what we do, which is give freely, because everybody doesn't possess the knowledge or the information or the care and the concern and the love and the passion for the people that we have. They just want to get through the day and get a check and get home safe in some neighborhoods. So they're more concerned with their safety than they are with the preparation of children for mature adulthood and success in life and business.
Shaan, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, watch this. Let me go one level deeper. One level deeper is adults, grown-ups looking for free education, free services, free coaching, free consulting, free results, free transformation. You're not going to find that anywhere but here. Like, we provide it, but even to go deep with the person, it requires more time, which requires a monetary investment. We do what we can with the time that we have, but at 8 o'clock, I gotta go.
That's right. And Shaan, it's like the old saying, right? You always get what you pay for. So I'm not a big fan. Even if we do free, I feel at some point everybody should make an investment in themselves, because you always get what you pay for every single time. It doesn't matter. Like, even with this, like, you have to at some point make some kind of monetary investment for you to get results at some point.
People don't value free.
Yeah, people, looking for free, if you don't have any money and then you come across a resource, then that's fine. Everybody or most people start that way without money. And it's not uncommon. But at some point in your adult life, I feel like you have to make some kind of investment. And if you're thinking right, then you have to make some kind of monetary investment. Otherwise, do you really believe in yourself? You know what I'm saying? Do you really believe in what you're trying to do if you're not going to make some kind of monetary investment?
Go say that again. Say that one more time.
I was saying, do you really believe in what you're trying to do if you're afraid to make a monetary investment? Do you really believe?
I love the question. And I'm going to say this. I had this on my mind to say, you can't become a doctor for free. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to make an impact. Everybody wants to, change the world. But the first thing you have to do is change your mind. And then follow that with a changed behavior. And then follow that with a changed investment in your education, your acquisition of transformational business skills that are going to transform your ability to produce results in this world's economy. You have to become mature. And most people are just not that mature. They wanted the easy way. And there is no easy way to create real results.
Look at what Yvette says. Yvette says, money is earned authentically, not automatically. That's true. She says money is earned authentically, not automatically.
I always tell people, I always say it this way because it can come off as condescending and I don't want it to. But I want everybody to understand that you are where you are based on your level of investment in yourself right now. Whatever your situation, stature, bank account, zip code, mode of transportation is, it's all based on the level of investment because you are always going to get a multiple of what you invest. You're always going to get a multiple of what you invest. So if you invest in yourself, look, if you invest in your education, you're going to get it. If you invest time in education, then you're going to get a degree. If you invest in books and reading and time, you're going to get information. I like what STEM Rep says, you don't believe in yourself until you invest in yourself. That's true. And the other part is true too. It's addictive and it continues to build every day of life. Like I said, Junior, I was up before 3 o'clock writing a term paper. I'm always up before 3 o'clock, studying, reading, and devouring information as much as I possibly can. I restrict the hours that I sleep. I have done that for years so that I could compress more and more information and knowledge into my cerebellum. So when I open my mouth, I know what I'm talking about. This is why a lot of people come out of programs and, coaches' worlds and be like, I was there for 2 years. I invested $20,000 and I ain't come out. I don't know what to do now. And I say, well, the quality of your education will be based on the quality of your instructor, young Danielson.
Super powerful. Shaan, before we wrap up, let's talk about the Leadership Live Deep Dive at 5. Can we put up a link? Do we have a link that we could put up somewhere on the screen?
Sure. One thing that I want to impress upon you guys, and I really want you to write this down, man. If you don't get anything else from Shaan Rais in life, get this. A yellow belt or a white belt trained by the right sensei will beat a black belt given his black belt by the wrong sensei. Meaning you have to earn it. Meaning the quality of the teaching will equal the quality of the instructor. The quality of your results in business will equal the quality of your accurate information. Your results will tell. Your results will tell. And that's why I love people that actually implement the work. Because we get results. We got clients who've been here for less than 60 days and start making $20,000 a month. That's results. That's evidence-based. That's no BS. That's no filter. You can't hide from that. We have people that have come here and not even had to leave their job, but get an entrepreneur's phenomenal life inside a business. Double their salary and make almost $250,000 inside the organization. That's results. That's evidence-based. That speaks to the quality, not of the individual, but of the individual's investment. I have invested multiple decades, multiple years, and multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars in the right information so that when I speak substance.
That's right, guys. www.livedeepdive.com this Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just use the link below. Shaan, can we also put it somewhere on YouTube so they can click it? Is that possible?
Yes, sir. I believe it will be. No problem at all.
All right. Let's see. All right, let's get that link in. Let's see. All right, there we go. So the link, if you're viewing this on YouTube, the link is right here. Just click in the comments. You should be able to go ahead and sign up. I know we also have some people on Facebook. If you're viewing this on Facebook, just send Shaan or myself a message, and then we'll send you the link. All right, guys. So thank you so much, Shaan. Do you have any last thoughts before we sign out?
Just that this quality of education, information, transformation, you're not going to find it anywhere else, because people don't willfully give this. And this is why, this is where it came from, right? We give more for free than you get for a fee. You don't know how many, like every client comes to me and I can almost template their conversation. Every client comes to me. I've had 5 coaches been in 10 courses. I've had 10 coaches been in 5 courses. You're not the first coach I've spoken to. But this is the fact, right? If you do it the right way, I'll be the last one that you need. Right? So this is the place where you come to monetize. You come to monetize here. You come to implement here. You come to build your brand here. You come to build your, you come here to become. You come to become. Gonna end on that note.
That's right, guys. Thank you very much. Speak soon.
Let's grow.
Let's go.